Amy from New City Library and welcome to my kitchen. Today I would like to show you how to make quesadillas. Quesadillas are a food from Mexico, but they are very versatile. You can change them to your taste based on the ingredients. We will be making a bean and cheese quesadilla and a spinach and artichoke quesadilla today. The ingredients that you will need are some type of tortilla, flour tortilla. It could be whole wheat, it could be whatever, spinach, whatever you choose. You need some kind of cheese. So for the bean quesadilla, we are going to be using Colby Jack today, and it's all shredded up. Some refried beans, and then we have some toppings that you can choose. So the first thing you're gonna need to do is take your griddle or your pan. I'm using a griddle. This is something you plug in. It's not on the stove. There's no flame. It does get quite hot, so you have to be careful. But you can use it on your countertop or your kitchen table, wherever you need. I also have a knife and some rubber spatulas. So we're going to start by taking our cutting board and placing one of our flour tortillas on the cutting board, and using a rubber spatula, I'm going to take the refried beans and I'm going to spread it all over, kind of like frosting. So when you cook, you always want to cook to your own liking, not necessarily have to stick to a recipe. It's not necessary. Not too strictly, at least. I have to say, I do often stick to recipes, but this is definitely something that you can kind of do to your liking. So there is my flour tortilla with my refried beans spread all over like frosting. And before I put it on my griddle, I'm going to use some cooking spray just so it doesn't stick. And it'll give a nice little brown color to that white quesadilla when it's cooked. Now, I have my griddle set to about 300 degrees. It doesn't really have to be that hot. And I'm gonna sprinkle some of that cheese over the beans. You'll see that I got some cheese on directly on the griddle, so it's making that crackly sound. So that is our bean and cheese quesadilla, and while that's cooking up, I'm going to show you how to make, this one is my favorite. Kind of came up with this one on my own based on my favorite ingredients. So I have my tortilla, and I have some shredded mozzarella cheese, and I'm gonna put that right on my quesadilla, sprinkle, sprinkle. Depending on how much cheese you like, you just go to town if you want. And there's the cheese right on the tortilla. And I have some artichoke hearts. So what I did is I chopped them up kind of small, and I'm gonna sprinkle those over my cheese. And I have some fresh baby spinach, and I'm just going to kind of tear that with my fingers and kind of put that along. Now you don't even have to cook that, because as the cheese and the tortilla are cooking and melting, it's going to cook that spinach. It cooks very quickly, kind of wilts. So there is the tortilla. It has this shredded mozzarella, it has the chopped artichokes, and it also has some fresh baby spinach. Now, this is the ingredients that I personally love. You may not love it, but it is sun-dried tomatoes. So I chopped up some sun-dried tomatoes. Sun-dried tomatoes have a very strong taste, so I cut them up small. We don't need a lot, but they're so delicious. You can even make this and put pepperoni on it, like a pizza. I don't know, anything at all that you like, mushrooms, zucchini, anything at all. I'm gonna put that right on the griddle. I forgot my spatula, so I'm gonna take that out. We do need to check on our bean and cheese. It's getting kind of brown, so I'm gonna fold it over so you can see like that. We're gonna let it cook just a tiny bit more. I think I'm gonna turn it down. It's getting a little browner than I want it to be. We're gonna let our spinach and artichoke one. You'll know when the cheese starts to melt that you can flip it over. And this bean one looks really good. I'm gonna flip that again. And you'll see all the cheese melting in there. See that? I think that's just about ready. We don't want to overdo it. I'm going to put this on my cutting board and let it sit for a minute. This is a really quick dinner. You can eat it by itself or have it with a salad. Anything. It could be a snack even. Very delicious. You could put taco meat inside. You can put ham and cheese. You know what you could put inside? Eggs, and have it for breakfast. A lot of people like eggs in their quesadilla. That's a fun one. What else could we put in it? Ooh, peanut butter and jelly. When you put peanut butter and jelly and you heat it up like this, I'm gonna flip this over now because the cheese is melting real nice. And the good thing is when you flip it, if the stuff starts coming out, take your spatula and put it vertical, kind of stick it back in there, mash it down, and the cheese is like glue. Sticks it together there. This is my absolute favorite one. Peanut butter and jelly. What else could you do? Nutella. You can do Nutella with anything. Bananas. Nutella and bananas. That would be yummy. See how we're doing. Is our cheese melting really nicely? It's getting there. I'm gonna flip it over. Whoop, I'm losing my artichokes. Gotta shove it back in there. All right, I'm gonna take it off. I'm gonna turn off my griddle and I'm gonna unplug it. That way it'll cool down very quickly and I won't accidentally touch it and burn myself. All right. So I have a knife. This just happens to be a knife that I like, but you do not need a knife this big. And I'm gonna cut my quesadillas. You can see them there. I'm gonna cut them in wedges to make them manageable to eat. You might want to pick it up and eat it like this, but if you want to share it, you can cut it in little triangles, such as this. Now, when it comes to safety with heat and safety with sharp knives, always ask your grown-up what is best for your ability level. So here we have it. There's my spinach and artichoke. You can see those sun-dried tomatoes in there, so yummy. And my bean and cheese. Look at all that cheese. Now, let's talk about toppings. So for my bean and cheese quesadilla, we can put salsa on it. We can put sliced avocado, guacamole. I'm gonna tell you my secret favorite thing, and that is this delicious creamy chipotle ranch. It's salad dressing, but it is delicious on a quesadilla. It's even delicious if you dip your chicken fingers in it. My kids love that. Now, for our spinach and artichoke, I have, wait there, some pesto sauce. That tastes delicious. You can dip it right into the pesto or spread it on top. Please be creative. Pick ingredients that you love and try making a quesadilla on your own. Enjoy.